Have you ever noticed? You've got a feeder up, a water bowl right beside it. And yet, no birds. But just 1 yard over, your neighbor's place? Birds from morning to evening, non-stop. You stand at your window and watch. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a question starts forming. What does my yard have wrong that theirs has right? This is not a coincidence. Birds are seeing something over there, something specific, something that nobody ever told you about. And today, we're going to find out exactly what that is. Welcome to Yard Bird Secret, the channel where we uncover the small, hidden secrets happening in your backyard every single day. The ones that are always there, but somehow never visible. Now think about this for a moment. You put up a feeder, maybe a bird bath too, probably even filled it with fresh seed, and still no birds. But your neighbor's yard? It's like a bird convention over there, every single morning. So did your neighbor do something magical? No, birds don't visit a yard randomly. They have a system, a silent checklist that they run through every single yard they come across. And until your yard checks every single box on that list, they just move on. Today, we're going to walk through that checklist together, step by step, in plain and simple terms. So in today's video, you're going to learn what birds are actually looking for before they choose a yard, the 6 hidden reasons that make your neighbor's yard so attractive to them, the common mistakes you're making without even realizing it, the ones that are quietly keeping birds away, and most importantly, the practical changes you can start making in your yard today, so that next time birds choose your yard, not your neighbor's. Stay with us all the way to the end, because the most important practical tips are coming in the final section. And if you want every little backyard mystery decoded for you week after week, go ahead and subscribe to Yard Bird Secret right now. This is where we share the signals, the patterns, the secrets that birds are hiding from you every single day. So let's get into it. Starting with the first reason. Point 1. Birds look for safety first, not food. Most people don't know this. When a bird flies into a new yard for the first time, her eyes don't go straight to the feeder. The very first thing she's asking is, if something comes after me right now, where do I go? Birds need a safe landing zone, a nearby shrub, a tree branch within reach, a dense hedge, somewhere they can disappear in a split second if danger shows up. Now think about your own yard. Is there a tree near your feeder? A bush? Or is your feeder sitting out in the open, right in the middle of the yard with nothing around it? If it's out in the open, a bird might land, but she won't feel comfortable, and she won't come back. Your neighbor probably has an old tree nearby, maybe some dense shrubs. That's it. That's the whole difference. Point 2. Food variety. One seed is not enough. Think about this. Imagine going to the same restaurant every single day, and they only serve one dish. How long before you stop showing up? Birds work exactly the same way. If your feeder is loaded with just generic mixed seed, some birds will come, but a lot of them won't. Because every bird has her own preference. The cardinal wants sunflower seeds. Goldfinch wants Niger seeds. Chickadee wants peanuts or suet. Mourning dove wants millet scattered on the ground. And if your neighbor has different feeders, each one loaded with something different, naturally, a wider variety of birds will head straight over there. One feeder trying to do everything simply can't make everyone happy. Point 3. Water, but the right kind. Now you might be thinking, I already have a bird bath in my yard. But ask yourself one honest question. How long has that water sitting there? How clean is it? Is there any movement at all, or is it just completely still? Because birds don't like stagnant water. Why? Because in nature, rivers flow, waterfalls run. Still water means bacteria, mosquitoes, danger. Birds are wired to avoid it. But the moment there's even a little movement in that water, a small drip, a solar fountain, that sound and that motion pulls birds in from a distance. And if your neighbor happens to have even a small fountain running in their yard, birds will find it. Every time. The sound of moving water is an invitation birds simply cannot ignore. Point 4. Noise and disturbance. What you don't notice, birds always do. This one gets overlooked more than anything else. Think about what actually happens in your yard throughout the day. Do you have a dog that goes in and out? Kids who suddenly burst out the back door running? A lawn mower that fires up a few times a week? A large window with reflective glass facing the yard? Any single one of those things is a red flag to a bird. Birds have an incredibly sensitive nervous system. One sudden movement, one sharp noise, and they're gone. And a yard that felt unsafe even once gets avoided for a long time after that. Think about your neighbor's yard. Maybe it's just quieter over there. Maybe there's less activity during the day. Maybe no pets running outside. That stillness, that calm, is exactly what keeps bringing the birds back every single morning. Now you might be wondering, okay, this all makes sense, but how do birds figure all of this out so quickly? So let's take a moment and look at your yard through a bird's eyes. How birds make decisions. In plain, simple terms. First, vision. Birds have eyesight that is far sharper than ours. They can actually see ultraviolet light, something completely invisible to the human eye, which means the moment a bird glances into your yard, she can already see which tree is healthy, which feeder is clean, where the cover is, where the danger might be, all of it, in a single look. Second, sound. Birds also make decisions based on what they hear. If the sounds of other birds are coming from a yard, a new bird thinks, birds are over there. That means it's safe. It's a natural social signal. That's exactly why a yard that already has birds keeps getting more birds. And a yard that starts out quiet just keeps getting quieter. Third, safety signal. Birds are always mentally mapping an escape route. When a bird sits at your feeder, she's actually spending more time watching her surroundings than eating. Every few seconds, her head comes up, she scans, she checks, and if there's no cover nearby, she won't stay long. Fourth, pattern recognition. Birds have a remarkably sharp memory. If a yard gave them a good experience once, they come back. If a yard scared them even once, they remember it for a long time, which means your yard is a first impression for every bird that flies over it. And just like with people, that first impression shapes everything that follows. Point 5. Native plants. This is the biggest secret of all. One question: what's actually in your yard? Just mowed grass? A few decorative plants? Or mostly just clean open ground? Birds don't love that. Because birds don't just eat seeds. They eat insects. They eat berries. They eat caterpillars. And all of that lives in native plants. Native plants meaning the plants that naturally belong to your region. Things like coneflower, sunflower, black-eyed Susan, native oak. These plants host insects. They grow berries. Their branches provide shelter. If your neighbor has even a few native shrubs or wildflowers in their yard, to a bird, that yard is a complete ecosystem. Your clean, tidy yard? To a bird, it looks like an empty desert. Point 6. Your feeder is in the wrong spot. This is the most common mistake of all. People hang a feeder right up against the window, or out in the middle of the yard, with nothing around it. Or way too low, just a foot or two off the ground, and then wonder why no birds are showing up. The right spot for a feeder is 5 to 10 feet away from a tree or bush. Close enough that a bird can reach cover in an instant, far enough that a predator can't crouch behind the bush and leap straight to the feeder. And height? For most feeders, 5 to 6 feet off the ground is the sweet spot. Common mistakes, the ones that happen without you ever realizing. Mistake 1. Dirty feeder. Old rotting seeds sitting inside the feeder? Mold building up along the edges? Birds will see it and fly right past. Clean your feeder every 1 to 2 weeks. No exceptions. Mistake 2. Reflective glass. Large windows facing your yard reflect the sky back at birds flying toward them. They fly straight into it. That impact is traumatic for a bird, and after that, that yard gets marked as dangerous. Permanently. Window decals or bird-safe tape on the outside of the glass can solve this completely. Mistake 3. Wrong seeds in the feeder. Generic wild bird mix is loaded with filler seeds. Things like milo and red millet that most backyard birds simply won't eat. Those seeds get tossed to the ground, the area gets messy and birds lose interest. Invest in quality seeds, and the right birds will come. So now the real question is, okay, I get all of this, but what do I actually do? Let's make this completely practical. Here are 5 changes you can start making in your yard today. Change 1. Move your feeder to the right spot. Pick up your feeder and relocate it near a tree or bush 5 to 10 feet away, 5 to 6 feet off the ground. That one single change, birds will notice it almost immediately. Change 2. Add a second feeder with a different seed. If you're only running one feeder right now, add a small Niger seed feeder. Alongside it, goldfinches will start showing up, or hang a suet cage for woodpeckers and chickadees. More variety, more birds. Change 3. Refresh your bird bath water and add movement. If you've got a bird bath, change the water every 1 to 2 days. And if you can, add a small solar dripper or a little fountain. These are very affordable and easy to find online. The sound of moving water will pull birds in from surprisingly far away. Change 4. Plant one native plant or shrub. You don't need to redesign your entire yard. Just start with one. A coneflower, a sunflower, a native berry bush. These plants bring in insects and berries, and birds will follow naturally. Change 5. Reduce the disturbance. If you have a pet, keep the feeder area separated from where your pet roams. Cut down on sudden movements near that part of the yard. And if you have large reflective windows, put bird-safe decals on the outside of the glass. Once a bird feels safe in your yard, even once, she'll come back on her own, and she'll bring others. These 5 changes won't cost you much. They won't take much time, just a little understanding and a few small shifts. So now you know, birds weren't going to your neighbor's yard for no reason. They were following a checklist, and your yard simply wasn't checking the boxes. No safe cover, no food variety, water that wasn't right, too much disturbance. No native plants, feeder in the wrong spot. But now, you know exactly what birds are looking for when they fly over a yard. You know the mistakes that were happening without you ever realizing it. And you know the 5 practical changes that can completely turn your yard around. The next time you look out your window, the birds won't be next door. They'll be right there, in your yard. Now here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment down below and tell me which one of these 6 reasons was happening in your yard. I'd genuinely love to hear what you discovered. And if this video helped you, hit the like button so more people who are asking this exact same question can find it. Subscribe to Yardbird Secret and hit the bell icon, because in our next video we're uncovering another hidden secret that can change your backyard forever. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of your yard.